Welcome back. Here on Police Report, we provide you with information on crime trends, crime prevention techniques, and community programs. But you can get additional information by visiting the Baltimore County Police Department's website as well. The address is on your screen. Press releases from the Baltimore County Police Department are no longer being emailed directly to subscribers. Instead, they can be accessed on the Baltimore County Police Department's website or on our Facebook and Twitter pages. We encourage you to like the Baltimore County Police Department's Facebook page and to follow us on Twitter for the latest news. Also, you may want to set up your Facebook and Twitter accounts to notify you when the Baltimore County Police press release is posted. Just follow the simple steps that are provided. With us to discuss crime prevention and personal safety tips is Officer George Massini. George, welcome to Police Report.
Thank you.
Well, the weather is starting to change. It's getting darker much earlier. It's dark early in the morning when people head out to work. People become a lot more concerned for their personal safety. First of all, let's talk about a topic that seems to be a big problem this time of year: auto theft. People come out early in the mornings and they put the key in the ignition and they just think it's okay to warm the car up. Why shouldn't they do that?
Definitely not a good idea. Nobody wants to get into a cold car. Obviously, frost on the windshield is an issue, but it's nothing worse than going out to your car, starting it up, going back inside to get your cup of coffee, and then coming out and your car is gone. So we've seen trends where criminals are opportunists. They know our patterns, our schedules. They monitor it. If they know that you're going out there starting your car up, they might be taking your car to work.
And it's pretty easy to spot these cars when it's pretty chilly out because there's smoke coming from them, right?
Yep. And the cars with the remote starts are okay because the ignition is disabled, the steering column is locked. Criminals know the ones that are using remote start because the lights on the vehicle flash differently. They know what to look for, but they also know, like you said, if there's exhaust coming from the tailpipe that's visible and they see you actually go back into your house, it only takes a second for them to be gone with your car.
And what about people who leave like their pass key in their glove compartment of the car, or they leave their electronic remote starter inside the car?
Well, that's a big problem in itself because you're giving the criminal a free ride, without a payment. So it's also difficult when we go out to investigate the report and we say, we have to account for all the keys and security measures that go along with the vehicle. If they're not there, it makes it look like, maybe the person provided them the key and maybe it's a false report. So you never want to give the criminal the advantage of skepticism or making us work harder to keep them safe and secure.
Now, some people own older model vehicles like older model Hondas, Dodges, vehicles like that are sometimes targeted more than other types of cars. What are some of the things they can do in addition to simply locking their cars to prevent somebody from stealing their car?
Well, the first thing we want to do is lock the doors. It's the most simple way to protect your property, whether it be your house or your car. Lock the doors, roll up the windows. Older model cars have some value to them because parts are scarce, and there's chop shops that want to take opportunities of those vulnerable cars that are unsecured. Some of the things you can do to make your vehicle less tempting to criminals is visible etching, VIN numbers on the windows, shows some form of care for your car that they know that your vehicle's not an easy target. The club or similar devices that would lock the steering column, something that a criminal could see from a distance will push them away from your car and maybe go to a different target. Obviously, we don't want them going to any other target. We would love if all the vehicles were secured. But like I said, criminals are opportunists. They're going to look for the weakest link.
And what about leaving valuable things inside your car, like your cell phone, your iPad, other electronic devices?
Well, that's probably number 2 in common sense safety and security. Never leave valuables visible. You're trusting a thin layer of glass between you and your personal property. A criminal who doesn't want your car has no problem breaking your window to get your purse, your cell phone, your laptop. So the rule is keep all valuables out of sight. If you have to, place them in the trunk Most trunks are equipped with a valet key or a secondary lock that the trunk cannot be opened up from the inside of the car. We always recommend engaging that secondary lock. That way the back seats can't be pulled down and the car can't be opened up from inside either.
And what about keeping your lights on around your house? We're going to jump into, burglary prevention here, but I think, keeping your lights on outside your house also apply to, preventing your car from being stolen also?
Without a doubt. Criminals love to work under the cover of darkness. They don't want to be identified. And if a criminal has a choice between a well-lit house or a poorly lit area, they're going for poorly lit because they don't want to be identified. They don't want to be seen setting up. It only takes a few seconds, but they're not even going to risk that in a well-lit area.
Now, I'd like to talk about burglary prevention, keeping burglars or thieves out of your home. What are some of the things that our viewers can do to prevent their houses or their homes or other businesses from being broken into?
We like to take a from-the-curb perspective and approach on safety and security for your homes. Maintaining your home, making it look like it's cared for, sends the first signal to a would-be burglar that somebody in the residence actually cares about the place. If you have an alarm system, you want to make sure that you promote that with a visible sign, stickers on your windows, that the alarm system is in place. Obviously, when you get to the front door and the front windows, especially the back and the sides where most people don't have a good eye on your property, you want to make sure that your windows and doors are locked at all times. During the change of seasons, people are out doing yard work. They might go out back, but they might go out back by using the front door and leave the front door open while they're out back. That's a perfect opportunity for a would-be criminal to get into your house while you're not paying attention. We also want to make sure that the perimeters of the home are secured. Once again, doors, windows, lighting. Make sure that you communicate with your neighbors so that your neighbors are basically a secondary layer of protection and always a second set of eyes. Let them know when you're going to be home, when you're not going to be home, if you're going to travel. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that somebody's picking up your mail, picking up your newspapers. Criminals look for signs of a lack of attendance, a lack of care and maintenance on a property, because then they know that their window of opportunity to get in, do their crime or criminal act, and they're going to jump on that.
And what about social media? For example, Facebook. People, they decide to go take a trip. Should they be posting that on social media prior to going away?
Not unless you want to invite a criminal to your house at a certain date and time. The first thing you want to do with social media is make sure that your privacy settings are set. But we have friends of friends, and unfortunately there are times when maybe a friend's child, grandson, nephew, niece might have a drug dependency problem or something. And they know that, through social media, that you're not home, you're going to be away for a week, and you're having a great time down at the ocean. And they know that you're down on Ocean Avenue having a drink, and you're not watching your house. So that's a perfect time for them to break in. So we don't want to advertise when we're not home. If you want to share pictures of your vacation, wait till you get back from your vacation and show some of the highlights then.
Now, another topic I'd like to talk about is robbery prevention. Once again, it's getting to be the holiday season. People will be shopping for Christmas and things like that. Give us some tips in terms of robbery prevention.
So robbery prevention, you want to go back to basics. Before you go out shopping, have a plan, know the area you're going to go and shop in. Is it safe? Is it well lit? Is it going to be well lit when you get in? We might go out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and there's still sunlight, but 2 hours later in the fall and in the winter, it's going to be dark out. So you want to make sure that you're parking your car in a well-lit area or an area that's going to be well-lit when you return. You want to make sure that the area is safe, be aware of your surroundings, and trust your gut instinct. If something doesn't seem right to you, move. Change your location, stay to a well-populated area. Criminals like when people are by themselves or there's less witnesses. You want to surround yourself with good people in a good area.
And what about walking while you're talking on a cell phone in an isolated area?
Well, that's kind of like having your head in the sand. We see it every day. It's very unfortunate. People are distracted by their cell phones. They're not paying attention to where they're going. Criminals are paying attention because not only are you down in your attention's diverted to your cell phone, but your cell phone itself then becomes a target for the criminal as well. Maybe that's what they're looking for, is just your cell phone. So you have no idea of who's coming behind you if you're not aware. Also, as you're walking to your car, have your keys in your hand. Be ready to use your keys. You don't want to be fumbling at the door when you get in. You don't want to give extra time. You don't have to be paranoid about your surroundings, but little changes in your behaviors and your habits go a long way.
Okay. And finally, to our viewers, there might be some young people looking at a fine young man like yourself, and they might want to become a Baltimore County police officer. What word of advice would you give to a young person that wants to be a Baltimore County police officer?
Choose your friends wisely. Make really good decisions. Academics is very important. You must be able to articulate information given to you by the public. You want to make sure that you're well spoken, and you stay away from drugs, because that will certainly knock you out of a really good job.
Okay, thank you, Officer Mussini. We have been talking with Officer George Mussini of the Youth and Community Services section. Once again, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks.
My name is Captain Rob McCullough, and you are watching Police Report. Welcome back to Police Report. If you missed any part of this program or would like to see it again, it is available on the web. To see it, just go to the Baltimore County Police Department website and then click on the Media Relations link and then click on Police TV. You can also now follow the Baltimore County Police Department on Facebook and Twitter. That brings us to the end of this edition of Police Report, brought to you by the men and women of the Baltimore County Police Department and Chief Jim Johnson. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you'll be with us next time. I'm Captain Rob McCullough saying, be kind to one another.